We're going to go down an education hole today, and this is all about proper wash technique. So if you are like I was, I did not know how to properly wash my hair until I started using Monat, and I was like 32. And I was washing my hair wrong for 30 years, however long. Like, you don't know what you don't know, so I'm here to teach you. So then you do know, and your hair can feel better. And this is actually regardless of the products that you're using. Learning how to properly wash your hair will help your hair feel cleaner and better in general. But with Monat, it's super important because the products are sulfate-free. You kind of have to do a little bit of legwork, a little elbow grease in there to get your hair squeaky clean. But remember that they translate. So if you're not using Monat, this is still very applicable information. I'm going to take you from the beginning of your wash to the very end of your wash, starting with you hopping in the shower, ready to wash your hair. The first thing you want to do is get your hair sopping, soaking wet. Like, we want completely wet hair before we go in with our shampoo. And this is really important with Monat specifically because this bottle has about 80% product to 20% water, whereas most other shampoos are 80% water and 20% product. So we need to add our own water because it's so concentrated, which is a good thing because it means your products last longer. So once we are totally sopping wet up here, we're gonna get our hands wet before putting the product in our hands. Once everything is wet, we get our hands wet, we get our hair wet, we're going to put our product in our hands. First thing though, we wanna shake our bottle. Monat is naturally based, plant-based, no heavy preservatives. It's made in small batches. You need to shake it because products tend to settle, especially when we've got rejuvenate oil in here, which is such an important part of the hair care routine. It's infused in all the products. I mean, this is why the stuff works the way it does. Gotta give it a good shake. So shake it for a couple seconds and then we're gonna put the product in our hands. I suggest using a little bit more shampoo your first wash. You want to make sure that that shampoo is everywhere. It may not suds, and that's normal, but we want to get it everywhere so it can start breaking apart the buildup, environmental debris, whatever it is on our head. So I go for about a quarter size amount. And this is a really important step too. We want to emulsify it between our hands until it turns white. This is what we're going for, and then we can apply it to our head. Short recap: hair sopping wet, hands wet, shook our products, dispensed our products, emulsify between our hands until it turns white. Now we are ready to apply our products. Here's what I want you to do. Think of your head like a steering wheel. We're always going to keep our hands at like 10 and 2 when we're washing. So if you're going in on one side, we're going in on the other side, same way. And this is going to ensure that you are actually washing your entire head and not just up here. There's so many other parts of your head that you need to wash. Like, seriously, the number of people I have with dirty hair back here because they're not getting that suds right there. We want a suds everywhere. No part of our scalp left unsudsed, okay? So we're gonna go in like this. We're gonna scrub. We're gonna go underneath and on top, and we're gonna scrub. And the idea here is that you want your fingertips to touch. So you're actually getting the whole way across, okay? Going by the ears, going behind the ears. Our fingertips are gonna touch back here. And we're doing gentle scrubbing motions, nothing too vigorous. The other thing about scrubbing our scalp is that we are focused on the scalp. We do not want to bring all this hair up and start doing a bird's nesting up here. We don't want that. That's gonna cause damage down here. And honestly, this hair is not the hair we're worried about. The scalp is what we're worried about with our shampoo. All the suds that trickle down your hair are gonna sufficiently clean the lengths. Okay, this is gonna help prevent damage. It's gonna help prevent crazy amounts of tangles. Like, we don't want any of that, okay? So we're gonna be gentle. We're gonna go in little circular motions, little back and forths, okay? That's what we're going for, just like that. Now, like I mentioned, your first wash may not suds, and that's okay. We want to still let that wash, that shampoo, once you applied it all, we want to let it sit for about 1 to 2 minutes. Now here's my little in-shower hack so that my shower is always productive every step of the way. I shave about half of a leg to take up some time while I let everything sit. We've applied our shampoo. We've let it sit while we shave half a leg. Now we're ready to rinse. Rinse really well. This is a key part that a lot of people miss, and you're gonna end up with some product residue in your hair, and that's gonna feel yucky. So we want to make sure that we are rinsing thoroughly. I always say, when you think you're done rinsing, rinse some more. Okay, now we're ready for wash number 2. That's right, we are shampooing at least twice. I'm going to give you another little hack here that will tell you when your hair is clean. Now, at a minimum, we're doing 2 washes. Always at least 2 washes. But at the same time, we are going to wash our hair until we get the richest, whippiest clown hair suds that you can imagine. That's the end goal with your shampoo. That may be done in 2 washes. If you're a more frequent washer, that may take 3, sometimes even 4 washes if you're new to Monat, just beginning or washing only once or twice a week. Now you're ready for your second wash. It looks exactly the same as your first wash. We're not going to squeeze the water out of our hair. We're going to leave it super sopping wet. Wet hands, emulsify our product, same amount of product between our hands, apply the same way. This time you should be getting a pretty awesome lather in your hair. Now, if you're new to Monat, it is very, very possible that you do not get a rich lather on that second wash simply because all the buildup on your hair is being removed. We're talking layers of buildup. It's gonna take multiple washes and sometimes even multiple wash days to get through it all, but I promise it's a fast process. You know, if you wash your hair correctly, you will speed right through getting the buildup off and your hair will feel incredible, okay? We're going for a rich whippy lather by the last wash. If you're new to Monat or you're somebody who exercises a lot, uses a lot of styling products, hairspray, dry shampoo, that type of thing in your hair, you may need a 3rd wash. Also a 3rd wash if you're somebody who only washes their hair 1 to 2 times a week. Some quick troubleshooting if you're having issues reaching all these areas of your hair, especially if you're someone with thicker hair. Unfortunately, that's not a problem I have. But if you're somebody with really thick hair, divide it up. Divide it into 2 and go in right down the middle with your shampoo. Or divide it top and bottom and shampoo the underside and get a rich whip down here and then bring the top down and shampoo the top area. Like, you can do all that in the shower. Whatever it takes to get that suds everywhere. That is exactly what we're looking for. Now, once you've done that, you need to rinse really well and you can section apart your hair as you rinse as well. Thick hair girls, I'm so sorry. Like, it takes a little more effort to get the product everywhere and to get it out of everywhere. So make sure that you're rinsing better than you think you need to. And then we're gonna go in with our conditioner. When you're applying your conditioner, first thing we wanna do, shake our bottle. Shake, 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 shake. Any of these new bottles that you're gonna purchase now, if you're a new customer, they have a screw off top. We're just gonna screw off the top. There's our product. I like to apply about a 1/4 size amount. I have a lot of hair. I love using conditioner. So I'm going in with this much product. Emulsify it between your hands. Emulsify, I mean like rub it between your hands. We want it on all our fingers before we apply. It's not gonna suds or anything, obviously it's conditioner, but we want it on all of our fingers and then we're going to apply the same way, except we're gonna start at our ends. Let me wash my hands and then I'll show you this. Now I think we're gonna break a cardinal law of conditioner here, but I'm okay with it because this is how I wash my hair, how I teach all my customers to wash their hair, and we have amazing results. And we tackle a lot of the problems that can easily be solved by doing this. What am I talking about? I'm talking about applying conditioner up here at your roots. Yes, at your roots. Okay, so when we're applying our conditioner, we got it in our hands. We're gonna go through our ends first, okay? You wanna make sure we get our hands, but then I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna bring it through the length, and then I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna work any extra on my hands up into my scalp, just like when I'm applying my shampoo. Okay, I'm gonna take my hair. I'm gonna squeeze it up here on the top of my head and get all that extra product, and then I'm gonna go in again, and I'm gonna put it all in my scalp. Conditioner in your scalp. Now, why in the world would I wanna do that? Let me tell you. First and foremost, Monat's conditioners have an ingredient called capixyl in here. Capixyl is a hair growth ingredient which acts on the follicle. So when you're applying your conditioner from here down, you're missing out on all the growth benefits of it. So when we apply it to our scalp, the active ingredient actually gets where it needs to go, into the follicle, and helps to improve hair growth that way. So that's number 1. We want our active ingredients to go where they're most helpful, the scalp. Number 2, and this is especially as we're going into winter, I see a lot of dry scalps out there. I see a lot of tangled hair, itching, flaking, dryness. This is why we go up to the scalp, because your conditioner hydrates your hair. It helps to work through tangles. It makes your hair smoother and softer. It almost gives that silicone-like slip to your hair without the silicones. And that's why we want to bring it up here. It's going to give you an easier time detangling out of the shower once we're brushing our hair out. It's also going to hydrate all your scalp. If you're somebody who's dealing with a dry scalp, the first thing I always want you to try, if you're not already doing it, is to put your conditioner all the way up here. Make sure that when you're conditioning your hair or using a deep conditioning hair mask, we are going all the way up. We are going all the way to the roots. You don't need to add more product. Just use whatever is left over. Squeeze, the watery stuff on your head. But we want it all the way up. It's going to alleviate most of your issues. If you have very tangly hair up here, condition all the way up. Dryness, flaking, itching, condition all the way up. Dry hair up here, condition all the way up. It is so simple. And as long as you're rinsing really well, like I said, rinse better than you think you need to, especially at the end after you condition your hair. Rinse extremely well. Your hair is going to feel kind of like straw. It's not going to be very slippy. That's what we want. A common thing I hear from a lot of new customers who are not used to having entirely clean hair without buildup is that their hair feels heavy and weird after they wash it when it's wet. Yes, it does. And that is actually a very good thing. Clean hair feels like straw. It's okay if you don't feel that slip in there after when you're rinsing the conditioner out. Your hair feels slippy after traditional conditioners because it has silicones in there. Silicones are kind of a plasticky, kind of waxy thing that coats your hair that makes it feel like super smooth and slippery, which is the feeling that we are used to when we condition our hair. Monat feels that way when you apply the product, but then once you rinse it out and you rinse everything out with it, it does feel like straw. And this is okay because it's not going to translate into how your hair is after you wash. It's going to be easy to detangle and comb through. It's going to feel incredible when it's dried. Incredible and clean. Clean is the key word.